Hello there. Like to welcome you all to 26 Minutes with. Today we have Scott Hardimen. So it's 26 Minutes with Scott Hardimen. Scott is a confidence coach. We are connected on LinkedIn, and I thought it'd be a definite great bet if we were to welcome Scott onto the show. So, hello, Scott. How are you doing?
Good man, how are you doing?
Very well, very well. We both had a quick chat just before, and we quickly discussed. It's pretty tiring times for the both of us with young ones around the house. But we're here, and we're very excited to have you on today, Scott. So, Scott, would you like to properly introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got there, really.
Yeah, cool. So, like you said, I'm Scott Hardiman. I am a coach. I'm a confidence coach, and I help. Majority of the time, I help men unravel and resolve their challenges in their business, but also their professional life. So, there's with life, especially now, and business in general, there are lots and lots of challenges. So, my task, my job, is to help those guys get to the bottom of them. There's barriers, break through those barriers, find ways to overcome those struggles, and then step into that confidence, step into that ability to as progress, move forward, and feel good in themselves and their life. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. Um, how I got there? Wow, yeah. So I was a funeral director. That was kind of the first job that I did for a very long period of my life. I was a funeral director for about 9 to 10 years, which I didn't plan. It wasn't something I went, you know what, I want to do funeral directing. But I kind of fell into it. I stuck with it. I learned a lot from following that process, that job. You have to have a lot of emotional intelligence. You have to, I suppose, be able to deal with people in so many different levels. So I learned a lot from doing it. And then I just sort of transitioned into doing other things. I felt I was good at helping people. I'm a qualified personal trainer as well. I did that alongside. And a lot of what I was doing in the personal training world was helping people, not just in the gym, but outside of the gym.
Mm.
So it was kind of a natural progression into that. And I've had my own struggles, which I'm sure we'll talk about later as well. And it just enabled me to sort of pivot into helping others with their confidence, overcoming their struggles. And that's now why I'm doing what I'm doing.
That's how it's led you to there. Excellent. So I have a
Yeah.
few people that are in the fitness industry. Some of them are personal trainers. Some of them kind of manage gyms, etc. And another one, a boxing gym, Rumble's boxing gym. So I really know the importance of people being able. It's not just about going to get fit. It's not just about trying to lose weight or put on muscle. It is a big mental thing as well, because fitness is a great thing to help control the mind, to deal with your poor mental state, and to keep you really going, because it gives you that good focus. So the kind of clientele that you used to get through for there, was it, it wasn't all about fitness. I take it some people were just looking for, the improvement of their mental health as well.
Well, yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, a lot of people, they come into the gym when I was doing personal training. They come into the gym with the thought process that I need to improve my body because that's the thing I need to fix. That's the thing I need to sort out. I need to look good because it will make me feel good. And that is a part of it. And of course, it naturally has a knock-on effect. But deep down, there's this underlying reason as to why they may not be feeling the way they want to feel. And so, yes, people wanted to come and improve their bodies and the way they looked. But like I said, there was something else that was stopping them from feeling good outside of the gym. And that's what I was tending to see. People just had that lack of confidence, not just in the way that they looked, but up here. And that was kind of what prompted me to look into other ways to help them, and go from doing what I was doing to what I'm doing now.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, there's definite links between there, and also even going back to the funeral director. Obviously, you've got to have a lot of compassion. You've got to have an understanding of how they feel. Their vulnerability at that time. So it's kind of your job to then make them feel at ease and let them know that anything that's going to be going through funeral plans, etc. To let them know that you have the control there to help them be able to not worry about that, because there's so many other things going through their minds. So you
Yeah,
can definitely see a link going through your jobs on how you've got there. There is a travel there, and it kind of all relates. With me, I've always worked in sales, but one of my jobs, I was a fishmonger. for about 2 years. So that kind of went off, and I really, really enjoyed it. I loved it, but you know, all the fishmongers started to close down, so I had to go back into the sales side of things. So the confidence coaching thing, how long you been doing that for?
So I've been doing that about 2.5 years now,
Mm.
which I absolutely love. Yeah, it's something that I'd like. Everyone says I wish I'd done it sooner, but I think if I wouldn't have been able to. I've been able to do it based on the experiences that I've had.
Yep.
Ultimately.
Yeah, and now that's put you in a position where you are able to then go out and say, look, I have the life skills, the experience to be able to proceed with this and do it in the best way possible. Because at the end of the day, you want to help people to the best of your ability. And if you kind of jump the gun and get into it too soon without those experiences, are you really going to be helping people? That's the thing. So yeah, you've got to be patient, you know, and I say it quite a lot. I wish I'd done this sooner. And then when you think about it, you think, no, because if I didn't go through this, I wouldn't have got to this, and I wouldn't know about X, Y, Z to be able to then, you know, help people in the proper way. So you say that you mainly work with men. Is that just you feel that you can relate better to men and help them better than what you would a woman?
Well, I relate really well with women. I've lived with women all my life. I've got three youngest. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I lost you for a second then.
that's
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah, so I relate really well to women, but I just felt a lot of my clients ended up being men, and it was kind of a direction that I wanted to follow, and the results that I got with men were really, really great.
Mm.
So it's something that stuck, and I just went with it. I feel good
Yep.
for it. It's nice because I feel like I build a relationship. With my clients, I end up with friends ultimately. You know, during the whole process, we build a relationship really, really quickly. It just happens, and yeah, it's just a nice thing for them.
Yep.
Sometimes I will literally be coaching, and we'll just talk for a good 20 minutes just about what they want to talk about, because
Mm.
I think men that sometimes we hold back, we don't necessarily express ourselves. So having another man to talk to, not always the case, don't get me wrong, but for other men to have another man to talk to just for a little bit, just to get things out of their mind, get things off
Mm.
their chest, is really powerful. And I really relate to that because I've had experiences where I've been in a similar position. So yeah, I connect with it more. I get more energy from it,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
the reason I went down that route.
Of course, I have my own support group for Respect Mental Health. Or I have a group of people that really help me run things, but we're all there for each other, and it's a complete split. There's 12 of us, 6 men, 6 women. So I can completely understand that. I go to the men for certain things when, you know, I'm feeling a bit down, or I've got something on my mind. I've got things that I would go to the men for, but then there's other things as well that I would go and drop a message to the women for. Because I feel more comfortable speaking to them about that. So, you know, I can completely understand about that, you know, and I feel that men, if they're going out for professional help, is that I myself feel a bit more ease opening up about many other things to a man than I do to a woman. And I don't know why. I don't know why that is. Would you have any ideas on that?
That's a really difficult question, man.
Because
But I'm similar in many ways, but it's a difficult one to answer because I think we can't really, with a lot of things, if we can't generalize so much because we're all so different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
One man is completely different to the other. So, but I think maybe it's a personal preference. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I do tend to get with my clients, they um, prefer to speak to men. Yeah, I don't think it's.
Yeah.
I think it's actually a thing. But
Yeah.
um,
Personal
again, it
preference at
might
the
not
end of
be.
the day. Yeah,
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 I
that's
think
it.
so.
So obviously we've not long come out of a national lockdown, and people were just starting to get the wheels back in motion, get businesses up and running, restaurants open, children back to school. Have you seen a rise in people that are contacting you, ready to get back into that have maybe lost a bit of confidence over the first lockdown?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of us, when it comes to confidence, we take our confidence from our external sources. So people might say, "Oh, you look good today," or "Nice hair,"
Mm,
or "Nice top." You know, called
Nice hair.
Respect Mental Health. Yeah, and I say, yeah, anyway, I'm feeling on topic. But yeah, so you get that confidence. You know, you do something well at work, and someone says, "Oh, well done."
Mm.
You get your confidence from external sources. So the fact when you're in lockdown, you don't get that so much.
Mm.
When it reduces your confidence, you feel, because you haven't had that
Yep.
boost. So when you
Yep.
go out into that world again, when things start to happen, it can take a little while to adjust and get back into the flow of the way that you felt before. So
Yep.
yeah, I've had people contact me just thinking, I don't feel as good. What is it? We
Mm.
get to the bottom of it, we start building on their confidence, understand it's not necessarily about external sources to make you feel confident, to help your
Mm.
confidence, but it's about the way you feel inside, knowing who you are and being genuine in yourself. And then it kind of just lets them out of their shell a bit, and they feel better for it. So yeah, but
Mm.
absolutely, I'm seeing more people come to me in regards to that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm pretty much the same. So, I really enjoy getting out to work and being around people and having people to kind of egg you on and saying, well done. So I work in sales, fast, crazy environment, fast paced pressure, which I absolutely love. Not stressful, but I like the pressure. And I felt that when we were furloughed at first, that the first 2 weeks we were working from home, and I kind of lost that buzz straight away and the confidence, and I didn't feel that I was then able to perform to my best ability. Then the whole furlough come into full effect, and I wasn't working at all. Unfortunately, I was made redundant from that job, and but I very quickly found a new job. And I just found it took me quite a while to get back into it and get going and kind of do that transition from being around people to not being around people. And I've kind of got myself to a stage at the moment where the confidence has dropped. It really has dropped where, I don't feel as confident going on the phone as much. I don't feel as confident actually leaving my house because I think that I've kind of found a safe spot that I'm comfortable with, but I'm not happy with, kind of going forward. So, I think we're now going to be going into the second lockdown. And so you're working very closely with clients at the moment with confidence. So what's kind of the gist and the feel of people that you're speaking with at the moment, that you've been working with, let's say from the beginning of the year? What's kind of their feel on things, and how is that knocking their confidence a bit, possibly heading into this second lockdown?
Yeah, I think it's about the uncertainty. And that affects so many different people. Being uncertain, that creating that stress and that lack of confidence and that anxiety that people experience is because we don't know what's happening. It creates that uncertainty, and we go, oh, what are we going to do?
Mm.
How are we going to cope? What if this happens? What if should I can't cope. These things crop up because we're forward thinking.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is uncertainty that kind of creates it. So a lot of what I do is just bring them back into the kind of the present moment, like what's happening now, because it just reduces that stress, which means you can work on other things like boosting your confidence. But yeah, I'd say that number one is uncertainty, not knowing what is going to happen. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
of course. Yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty that's going on because we're saying 4 weeks at the moment, but there's high chances that that could go on further, possibly past Christmas. So it kind of brings in a lot of worry, stress, anxiety, mental health issues. Being a confidence coach, it obviously comes with clients that are suffering from anxiety and mental health conditions. Now, are you finding there's a specific age range that you're really working with at the moment? Is it kind of 45 aboves, or are you seeing a lot more of the younger generation now coming to you? Let's say kind of university, college kind of age groups, or even mid-20s?
Yeah, I'd say I've got a variation of clients from 21 to 45. That's kind of the age range that I work with. And I haven't actually experienced any coaching anyone older than that in
Mm.
regards to a male. But yeah, it seems to be that bracket of like 20, 30 years between 20 and 40. Yeah, I'd say.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know why that is. Maybe it's the younger generation. There's a lot to think about. And then the older they've got, more of established businesses, or they've been working for a longer period of time, and things like lockdown, they challenge everything that they know. You don't necessarily, can you do this job as well?
Yeah.
Am I going to keep my job? What
Yeah.
happens if I get made redundant? And they're kind of the things that maybe the slightly older men think about, whereas the younger, they think, can I get a job?
Mm.
Can I make this business work? What do I need to do to make it work? They're kind of the worries and the uncertainty that comes with those kind of two variations there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And how's this made your work over this year as well? Because a confidence coach, are you just kind of over the phone video calls, or do you get to actually go out and see your clients face to face and speak to them in that kind of way?
Yeah, I've had a few clients locally to where I live that every now and then we'll meet. We used to meet. Obviously now we don't. Everything's done on Zoom, literally like this. And actually the impact is really, really good.
Mm.
The results we get are the same. There's not, you don't get that that contact, or it's not the same as in person to person. You get that response, but the results are the same. But
Yeah.
from a coaching point of view, it's challenging as well.
Mm.
You have to dive deep into what you know, and try things that would normally work face to face, and try them to see whether they work,
Yeah.
and then adapt if you have to, which is, it's an
Yeah.
extra challenge. I like a challenge. A
Yeah.
little
Me
bit
too.
stressful at times, but you just learn to live with it. Yeah.
Of course, of course. So, I'm just going to go back to a little bit about your job history. So, coming through from the funeral directors to personal training to where you are now. Obviously, it's kind of you've probably experienced some up and downs from there, because I can imagine, especially going through funeral directors, that you're around a lot of sadness, which has that played with mental health over the years as well, kind of going through that, living that experience, even though that you don't know those people properly over time, and the build up to actually having the funeral, you probably build a little bit of a bond and with these people, so it kind of feels like, even though you didn't know the person, that you have some sort of attachment there. So has that played with mental health over the years at all?
I mean, potentially. I mean, a lot of I was never. I was that kid. He's just sensitive. He's a sensitive boy. It's just
Mm.
he's never been confident. Never been confident. I was that kind of kid. I was growing up, so I never had that level of confidence that you would maybe expect. For people think that a young lad has confidence, but I was never that kid. I was sensitive and
Mm.
etc. So going into that job, I was bloody good at it. But because of that was my nature, and that's what I believed in myself. I believed I was low in confidence, and I believed I was a sensitive guy. Then yeah, it affected me in different ways. I suppose it wasn't at the forefront of my mind, but deep down, I think it was definitely having an impact. And I did suffer from mental health problems, but I don't know if it came from directly from that job.
Mm.
But I imagine it played a big impact. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And how have you coped over the years? Because mental health, it affects everyone. And some people want to talk about it. That's their way of dealing with it, and that's exactly who I am. I'm the sort of person who, over the years, have learned to realise that it's very, very important to talk about your mental health. I'm a definite sharer. Sometimes I get told I share too much, but it's my way of dealing with things. It's my way of saying, this is me on a plate, take it or leave it, because I haven't got time for people who can't take me as I am. So this is me. This is how I feel. I don't want you to feel sorry for me, but I want you to understand that where I am in my life. So over the years, how has mental health affected you?
Yeah, so for me, I suffer with anxiety. I suffered for a very, very long time. It was just one of those things that all of a sudden it just happened. I attribute it to the way I think about stress and anxiety is like I've got this here. Look, I've got a pint glass, or I've got a glass.
Mm,
I see it as throughout our life we fill up our glass
mm,
with something. We fall over, there's a little bit of stress, and you do
yeah,
it from childhood. You get a job and you lose your job, or you have a relationship that breaks down, or something stressful happens. You just fill up that stress cup, and then some of us are really good at dealing with it. We deal with it really well, and we take a big chunk out of it each time,
yeah,
each time that it happens. But some of us aren't so good at dealing with it, and I wasn't very good at dealing with my stresses and my problems.
mm,
So we got to the top, and then all it takes is one drop, just to hit the top of the glass, and then you overflow. And then, as we know, anything that overflows is really difficult to get under control
mm,
if there's a consistent drop. So for me, I think I was out with the lads one time. I was early 20s, And I got very drunk, woke up anxious. I felt like I needed to take a deep breath. And if I didn't get the deep breath and I couldn't get it, I'd have an anxiety attack. And it was constant. And I had that for about 5 years. You say you like to talk about things. I was the opposite at that time. I was that kind of guy. How are you doing? Yeah, good. You? That
Mm.
was me. How you
Yeah.
doing? Yeah, good. You?
Mm.
Just instantly go back to the other person because I didn't like to talk about the way I felt. So I struggled with anxiety. Then you think if you're looking to get a deep breath and you can't get it and you have an anxiety attack, you breathe all the time. So it was kind of a constant thing for me. And honestly, I look back now, I think, how on earth did I manage that?
Mm.
But I did. I got through it, and that's
Yeah.
kind of how I experienced anxiety. But I was very much not the kind of person that would talk.
Yeah.
I'd just hide away and just deal with it internally, which is not good at all. And
Mm.
that's now I do what I do. It's the complete opposite. I encourage people to talk,
Yep. Yep.
encourage people to
Mm.
say how they feel because twofold. One, you're getting things out of your mind, you're getting things off your chest. So you are de-stressing by talking to someone. But two, that person you're talking to could also be struggling. And if they talk to you, you're helping someone. And when you help someone, you feel better. So
Yeah.
by talking, it doesn't just help yourself in one way, but it helps by the fact that you're helping other people. Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
That's a bit
So
of a long-winded answer.
no, 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 that's good. That's exactly what we want. Definitely. So it took me quite a while to be the way that I am. I used to be the imploder. It would all get held in and I would build up so much emotion, anger that, I made especially family, their lives absolute hell. Which then spread on much more mental health conditions to my little sister, to my older sister, to my mum. For my mum trying to live her life and pay the bills and to worry about me, because I could go missing for a few days at a time because I just couldn't be in that house because I knew that my anger and my issues, because I couldn't speak about them, would absolutely wreck everything. And it took a very serious incident for me to start to realize that I needed to talk. And I ended up in hospital. I was up in Manchester all alone. And my mum, as soon as I told my mum, she got in a car, dropped everything, got in a car, drove straight up to me, sat by my hospital. And she was like, from now on, you need to speak about how you feel and what's on in that head, because we're not mind readers. We know there's something going wrong, but we haven't got a clue what it is. And this is the results of holding it in. So it took a very, very serious incident for me to be able to realize that, talking is good. It's good. And for the last 6 years, I've now learned to be able to be very open. And I've learned to be able to help as many people as I can, and to bring them out of their shell. Because I feel that when you get the ball rolling, when you show that you are able to talk, it lets the people around you know that it's okay for them to talk as well. And that's when you start to build a very good support network. Okay, so with the confidence coaching as well, what is the main thing that people lack confidence with? What are they actually coming to you for, mainly?
It varies. It really does. I mean, it's confidence in putting themselves out there with their business. So putting themselves on social media,
Mm.
posting consistently, putting videos out of themselves, and thinking, "Oh, I can't do that." Making a decision in business that could have a positive or a negative impact, or feeling confident in the way that they look and the way that they feel. So there's so many different variations to it.
Yeah, yeah,
We're all so different, but because a lot of the time I work with professionals and businessmen, it's about their business and being confident they're making the right decision. Sometimes it's just about, do you think that's a good idea? And I'll say, well, do you think that's a good idea? And they'll say, yeah. I'll say, well, then go for
yeah, yeah,
it.
of course. Yeah.
But they need that someone just to be able to offload to and ask.
I do that all the time. I actually spoke to someone the other day is that I'm looking to take, I work on a magazine, but I'm looking to do more on a side hustle thing, which isn't going to be paid or anything like that, but it's for the Respect Mental Health brand. And, I kind of I went over and I said, do you think this is a good idea? And they said, well, what do you think? And I was like, well, I really want to do it, but I'm very impulsed in my decisions normally. But because this is unpaid, I need to make sure that this is going to be the right thing for me. And she started asking loads and loads of questions to kind of draw the information out of me slowly. And we finally got to the stage where it was agreed that my passion would be in speaking, getting up on stage and things like that. And just like that, I've had a message 10 minutes before we come on this podcast after she had a chat with someone, and they said, we've got an event next year. I think you're a great fit. Do you want to come and do it? And, you know, I'm absolutely over the moon about it. And, you know, and I feel like there's a whole big buzz and I can't wait. And that in itself has brought my confidence right up, that people are starting to see what I can do with, you know, the podcast and my posting, and they're thinking he is. So that has given me a massive confidence boost. And that really goes back to a little bit about how you said about when you're out and about and people say nice hair, nice this, you know, that someone would recommend you and someone would take notice of that recommendation and agree with them. That now, just coming on to here today, I kind of feel like, you know, a small weight is just being lifted up to there, and think, do you know what, I think I'm getting back into my groove a little bit, and I can achieve so much more. You know, apart from the tiredness, I feel like I can actually kind of lift myself up now. And
Yeah, of course you can.
an amazing
Absolutely.
feeling. It's an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
But so just before we do go, Scott, it would be great. Would you be able to give a couple of pointers without giving away too much on kind of how people can coach themselves to have confidence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Basically, the way I think about it is that everything that, you know, a lot of what I say, I have a different outlook on it and a different look, but everything that people can do is it's out there. Like, you could probably Google it and go, yeah, how can I do this? It's just about implementing it. And that's the difference between implementing. It's like reading a book, a self-help book. You flick through chapter 1, do this task. I'll just go on to chapter 2. Chapter 2, do this task. I'll go to chapter 3. And you get through the whole book. And did you do any of it? No. The difference with the book and coaching is that coaching, you say, hey, did you do that? And they go, oh, yeah, I did actually, yeah. And it works, right? Yeah, it worked. That's the difference between coaching and a self-help book. So anything that I say, the majority of it is out there. You can find it. It's the way that the person that you work with imparts that and keeps you accountable to be able to do it. But I just wanted to say that anyway. But for me, I would say if you're looking to sort of feel less stressed, be more in control of what you're doing, overcome your anxiety and boost your confidence, and start to be aware of your thoughts, start to catch those thoughts, because you'll be so surprised at the thoughts that are running through your mind that are not serving you, that do not help you, such as, you know, what's the point in trying this, or what if I don't succeed at this? If you catch that thought, I can't cope with this, what's the point in trying? You have to stop and just ask yourself. I tend to ask 3 questions, and I get my clients to start to ask themselves 3 questions. Is it helpful? Do I want to think it? And is it true? Okay. And the majority of time, the answer is going to be no to every single one of those questions. If they're no, you need to get rid of that thought. You don't need that thought. Get rid. It's not serving you. It's limiting you. It's stopping you. So have that awareness to be able to challenge those thoughts. Ask 3 questions and see where it gets you. But yeah, for sure, that's the most powerful thing for me. It was like, I remember saying, I'm not confident. I never have been. I never will be. Was I going to be confident? Not a chance. So I started to dissect that. Is that helpful? Well, no, because I want to feel confident in myself. Is it helpful? No. And is it true? Do I want to think it? All of those were no. So I thought, well, why am I thinking it? And I just got rid of it. It went, and I started to replace it with, you know, I can build my confidence. I'm going to work on myself, and every single day that I take action is getting me towards where I want to get to. And then things started to change for me. I started to feel more confident because I believed that I was working my way towards it. So yeah, start to challenge thoughts. I think that's probably the number one thing. And I suppose the one other thing is be present. You'll hear that a lot. It's kind of like the buzzword of the century is be present, be mindful. You know, is so true. You think about the future, you create anxiety. You think about the past, you get regret. So think about now, like you and I are talking right here, right now. There's no problem. It's all good. We're present. You're listening to me. I'm looking at you.
Yep.
It's all good. So if that teaches me anything, it's just to every now and then bring yourself back to this moment here, because it will over time just create a more relaxed, stress-free mindset.
Yeah, that's it. I started trying to change. I used the word can't a lot previously, and I thought I'm saying this word way too much. I can't do this. I can't do that. Or I won't be able to do that, or things like that. So I tried to. I took all that out of my vocabulary. And switched it with, just take the T off can't, and, I can do this. I can be that person. I can be strong for my family. I can be a provider. I can make this business opportunity work. And, things started to fall into place with me, and I started really enjoying life a lot more, and, succeeding at anything that I was putting my mind to, because I was telling myself constantly, you can do this. And if something had gone wrong, it's only a speed bump, it's only a minor setback. It's only, a 6-foot panel. I can jump over that. It's no issue at all. So I can do it. And that kind of drives me to do everything that I can, and make sure it's a success. But Scott, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on here today. And, I'm sure that when the people view this, they'll be able to take in some really, really great pointers. So it's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Excellent. No problem. Catch you soon, Scott. Thank you very much.